If you're feeling a little uneasy about January, you're not alone. Lots of people, including myself, are feeling just a little bit uneasy about January. And in this video, I'm not giving breaking news. I'm not giving you a list of things to run out and buy. And I'm not giving you a warning in this video. What I want you to do is 3 things. One of those is to pause, to take stock, and to plan. So we're going to pause, take stock, and plan. So when I say pause, I want you to just take a breath, and let it out, and then begin to think about what it is that you need to do. So January does not have to require panic, but it does require planning. So before we get to planning, we're going to take stock of what we already have. We're going to look at our pantry, we're going to look at our fridge, we're going to look at our freezers, and we're going to look at our extended pantry or our prepper pantry, as so many people have. If you don't have an extended pantry, that's okay. But what you will do is take a look at what you already have. The other thing you want to take a look at is your habits. What habits do you need to change? Do you need to drop? Or do you need to adopt? Maybe you need to take a look at the way you shop. Maybe you need to take a look at where you shop, like maybe a grocery store in the area where you typically go has a little bit higher prices than another store that might be a little bit extra drive, but you might be able to save money on your grocery shopping there as well. So think about that. Think about where it is you normally shop. Is it a good place for you to continue shopping? Or maybe it costs a little bit more, but the gas it might cost you to drive somewhere else is maybe a little bit cost prohibitive. So you might think, okay, so this one's a little bit more, but I'm okay with that. You just have to think about it and plan. The other thing you want to do is to make sure you are taking advantage of the plus cards wherever you shop. Now, many stores like Kroger or Publix or HEB or all the different stores that are out there, many of the big name stores will have a plus card or shopping card, or they might call it something else, but will have some kind of a shopping card that goes along with their store that they offer to their patrons. And because of that card, you get a little bit extra money off on certain items. And I usually shop at Kroger, so I will use that as an example, but you will get the plus card, and then they will have digital coupons that are available in the store. Some of those digital coupons can be used only once. Some of those digital coupons can be used up to 5 times. Like, for example, one month they had raspberries on sale for $1.50 a pack, and I could get like 5 packs with the same coupon. The other thing that Kroger's will do is they will send you coupons in the mail. And now these coupons come in the mail in a little pack such as this. And the coupons are good for about a 30-day period. These particular ones expire January 4th, so I better get to using them. But look at what's here on top. I get a free dozen of eggs. Medium, large, extra large, or cage-free brand. Any variety, Kroger brand I should say, any variety of the Kroger brand eggs for the most part I can get for free. That's going to save me anywhere from $2 to $4 depending upon how much eggs are in that particular store. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I buy a lot of black beans. Well, I've got a coupon here where I can save 50 cents on the purchase of 3 cans of Kroger brand black beans. They also have 80 cents off on various berries and that kind of thing. So the nice thing about the Kroger coupons, and I am anticipating it may be like this at Publix, is that they send you coupons based upon what you normally buy. So there are no coupons in here for things that I don't already buy. So because I'm a regular Kroger shopper, somehow or another it's in the computer of the things that I normally buy, then they will send me coupons with money off for those things. I like red gold canned tomatoes, and here there's a coupon for red gold canned tomatoes. So this is a money saving option that I want you to be sure and think about, is to take advantage of the shopping cart or plus card that they may have at the grocery store where you like to shop. And I do want to remind you is that if they have a shopping card or a plus card, you do take advantage of certain sales when you have those cards. But if you don't have that shopping cart, you can't take advantage of those sales. I was at Kroger one day and there was a young lady in front of me and she had a cart full of groceries, and they asked for her shopping cart and she didn't have it. She said she lost it, so she needed to get a new one. And I said, baby girl, you need to have her give you an application so you can apply for one now, because you lose money when you don't have that cart. So I let her use my shopping cart for that particular day because some of the items she had in her cart, I also had in my cart. And they were the regular Kroger items that were on sale that you didn't need, say, a digital coupon for. So she was able to take advantage of some of the sales in that way. So if you don't have the shopping cart for the store, most times you can't get the sale prices. So it's important to take advantage of those. And then there's apps like Ibotta. And with this particular app and others that are similar, you can accrue so many points for your purchases, and then you can use those points to buy food later. The other thing you want to take a look at are the systems that you use to manage your home. Systems related to grocery shopping, and systems related to homekeeping, and even systems related to self-care. And I put self-care at the bottom of the list because, like most moms, wives, most women, I put self-care at the bottom of the list. But I'm trying to change that habit for 2026. So the system that you use for food could include shopping on a particular day or at a particular time. For example, maybe you learn from your store manager or the meat department manager when they put the markdown meats out. So it's part of your system to go, we'll say Tuesday morning at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, because you know the markdown specials are going to be put out at that time. Or maybe it's part of your system to go when the kids are at school, maybe you have one still at home and you can put the one in the cart and do your shopping. Or maybe it's part of your system to order your groceries and you place your order on Wednesday. Well, such as what I might do, and pick them up on Thursday when you're out running your errands. Or you might have them delivered on Thursday so that you have already cleaned your fridge on Wednesday. That's part of my system. I usually clean my fridge on Wednesday, clear everything out. Also, Thursday is trash day for us. So my husband will say, anything you need to take care of that you need to throw out. So it really helps me to get that done on Wednesday. So on Thursday, my fridge has been cleaned and prepped and is ready to receive my grocery items. The other system that I have is one related to housekeeping or homekeeping. For example, on Mondays, I do my weekly home blessing, where I will strip the bed, throw those sheets in the wash, do 5 or 6 other particular little tasks that are associated with the weekly home blessing. On Tuesday, it's my free day, but I will continue to do my daily swish and swipe and a load of laundry. It is also part of my system to do a load of laundry every day. So I'll throw the load in first thing in the morning. Maybe I'll bring it down when I get ready to do my morning stretches, which I'm trying to get back to. But I'll get that thrown in the wash, and then while it's in the wash, I can do my self-care, which includes riding my bike for 5 minutes every morning, and then doing some simple but gentle stretches so that I can keep my body moving. And I will admit, I've let that self-care system fall by the wayside because I've been busy with other things or other people. But for 2026, I'm getting back to taking care of me first so that I have a full cup to give to other people. The other system you might want to consider taking a look at is your finances. And you really want to consider, what are you working with for January? Like many people, your budget could be really tight or really stretched because we had a lot of spending for December. And so now we either have to play catch up or we have to tighten our belts to get ready for the next quarter. So that's something to think about. And you'd also want to take stock of either your credit card spending, your debit card spending, or monthly bills and that kind of thing. Take a look at what it is you got, what it is you need to manage, and then how you can handle that for the next couple of months. And ask yourself, do you need to do something different? Do you need to cancel a few subscriptions? But what do you need to do to take hold of your budget and your finances for January? This video is brought to you by Aprondiva. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. Visit us at www.aprondiva.com. And then the third thing we're going to do is plan. And we are going to plan January intentionally. So get yourself a planner or a notebook so that you can plan. And I've got a couple examples here to show you. This is just a plain little notebook. This is the Happy Planner Notes. And they've got 3 dividers in it, so you could use one section per quarter, or you could just use it for the month, so for the whole first quarter. And you can just use a plain notebook to write your plans or your grocery items or your meal plans or whatever in here. Or you could use a planner such as this home planner that is specific for helping you to manage your home. And it says Home Planner Daily Checklist for your home, family, and finances. So you've got quite a few things in here that you can do that covers vacation checklist and other things like that. And it's got pages in it such as this. And you can make your menu plan, and then it's got other tasks and different things like that that you might want to do for the day. In addition to having your daily planning pages, you've also got a dual page where it shows your month at a glance. And then there's a budget worksheet in the back of it. And in many of the home planners that you can get, it will include a budget worksheet, home maintenance tasks, things like that, meal planning options, and those kind of things. And then a nice little note or saying might also be available in the planner as well. So you can consider getting a home planner. I will admit that sometimes when you get these home planners such as this, they can be a little pricey. So if you want something that's a little bit more cost effective, you can find these planners. Like this is the Blue Sky planner, the classic, and you can get these at say Target or Walmart or Amazon, different places like that. And just like the planner that I showed you, it's got your month at a glance in it. And in addition to that, then you've got your daily pages. And I'm really liking the way these daily pages are set up. They're horizontal and I can write quite a bit in them, so I'm liking that. And then you've got notes page in the back of them, and you can do your meal plan wherever you want. So it just depends upon what fits your budget, but get yourself something such as that. Now, here's the thing. Those daily planners, those notebooks, they only work if you use them. So it doesn't do you any good to have it if all it's going to do is sit on the desk. So you're going to plan January intentionally. You're going to get yourself either a notebook, one of those composition notebooks, or you're going to get yourself some kind of a planner and you're going to use it. And maybe you might need to put a note in your phone to remind you that at a certain time every day, you're going to sit down and you're going to plan for the next day. Or as Fly Lady Cat suggests, you're going to plan this week for next week. But you're going to plan whatever you need to plan in that calendar. And it could be that you set yourself a note to check it every day as well. So what I will often do is block some time on Sunday afternoon to make my plan. I will make my food plan. I'll look at upcoming events like birthdays, doctor's appointments, veterinary appointments, that kind of thing. And then get those on my calendar. And if I don't get everything done on Sunday, then I may use Wednesday to order my groceries and take care of my finances for the house, like any kind of bills, budgeting, that kind of thing. I'll get that done on Wednesday if I didn't get it finished on Sunday. And then I'll place my grocery order on Wednesday so that it's either ready for delivery on Thursday or ready for pickup when I'm out running my errands. And then one of my routines, which is actually a part of my food system, is to clean my refrigerator on Wednesday. That way I've got anything out that needs to come out and the refrigerator is ready to receive groceries on Thursday. And then also our trash day is on Thursday. So if I haven't done that, then his gentle reminder that tomorrow's trash day, he'll be walking around getting their little bags of trash together, then that's a gentle reminder for me to take care of that then. I'll also look to see whether or not there's any travel plans that are coming up. And probably in January, I know there's not much that I'm going to be doing in January. However, there could be some travel plans coming up in March. So when I finish my first quarter planning next week, I'll have those events on the calendar. So when it comes to our food and our money, it can really help lead to peace of mind if we get things sorted out that first week of January. We've already taken stock. We've looked at the budget. We've looked at what expenses we have coming up and that kind of thing. But we're also going to do our meal plan for the month. And when we do that meal plan for the month, we've already taken stock of what's in the fridge, the freezer, the pantry, the extended pantry. Then we're going to make our meal plan. And then based on the meal plan, we're going to shop our shelves to see what additional things do we need to pick up to complement the meals we want to make. It'll also save us money by preventing us from buying duplicates. And then one of the things that I'm really trying to encourage all of you and myself is to think about what pantry meals can I make, meaning what meals can I make with things that are already in my pantry that might just need a little something additional. For example, New Year's Day is coming up. A lot of times we'll have black-eyed peas as our main dish on New Year's Day. I've got some ham that's left over in the fridge, and many of you may have some ham left over from Christmas. So I'll use that with some pantry staples to make my black-eyed peas dish for the new year. And one of the things that I've done most recently is I did a video on a $5 meal. And my question was, how much does a $5 meal actually cost? And does it just cost $5, or do you have pantry staples that you need to pull in to make that meal complete? I will link that in the description box below as well as in an iCard above so that you can check that out, because actually most times a $5 meal costs more than $5. Now let's talk about SNAP benefits just for a minute. And as we know, in about 18 states, there will be changes in SNAP benefits. Many of them start January 1st. Some of them might start a little bit later in the year. They're going to be somewhat staggered, but there will be changes in the SNAP benefits. I have done 2 videos about what some of the changes might be, or what might be some of the strategies you might take as a result of these changes, and I will link those videos in the description box below and in the iCard above so that they're there if you need them. If this conversation helped you feel steadier, let me know in the comment section below. I'd really like to know where you're at. And I'll see you on Saturday when I walk you through my January pantry and budget reset.